Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 22 of What If Naruto Pushed Himself to His Limit. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto was born in the Uzumaki clan, and enjoy that. And stay tuned because later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was raised by the Hyuga clan, so stay tuned for that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off, Naruto told Sakura to stop being naive. Despite everything, Sasuke will not come back to the village. As that was going on, Sasuke gathered his group, as they decided to follow him, for him to accomplish his goal of killing Itachi Uchiha. Tsunade decided to send a group, along with Naruto, so they could capture Itachi themselves. As the group was sent out, to track down the last known location of Itachi. As the Akatsuki members were conducting the sealing of the five-tailed Roshi. As the group heard, they were told by Pain about Sasuke, and they must be aware of him because he might be coming after Itachi and Kisame, and he's also along with a group. As Kisame chuckled when he heard that little Sagetsu was amongst them, as he remembered the kid when he was much younger. After the sealing process was completed, Deidara and Tobi went out, as they met up with Sasuke, as Sasuke separated from his group to find Itachi. After meeting up with him, they started their battle. The battle lasted same as canon, with Deidara blowing up himself to try and take Sasuke with him in his final hours. But Shigetsu had already summoned Sasuke away as long as Sasuke jumped inside of Manda's mouth, who took the brunt, some of the attack. Naruto and his squad arrived there, but Naruto had an interesting conversation with Kabuto first, as Kabuto wanted to know and to find himself, but Naruto simply laughed when he saw that Kabuto was still imitating Orochimaru. Kabuto gave Naruto a scroll with all of the current information and all of the rest of the Akatsuki members, all of their strength and weaknesses, as he wanted to help Naruto. He wanted Naruto and his squad to destroy the rest of the Akatsuki members, so no one shall stand in his way when he's going to complete his goal. Back at Konoha, Jiraiya came back, as he found the location of the Akatsuki leader, as Tsunade told him to tell her immediately, but he said that the both of them should grab a drink or something, as she told him how irresponsible that would be for the Hokage, but less than an hour later she was out, drunk as hell. As Naruto and his team was going after Sasuke and his team, as Karen came with a brilliant idea. She had Sasuke's old shirt as she ripped it to pieces. Kiba stopped as she scattered the scents everywhere. As Naruto cursed, it seemed like there was a good sensor on his team to find out that there was not humans alone tracing them. Kiba with his enhanced senses like dogs. As Naruto created a multitude of shadow clones and sent them out in all directions, while the real one switched to the clone as well as he went out. As he told Itachi to come out, as Itachi stepped from behind the tree, as he told Naruto it's good to see him. So yeah guys, that was basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across and please check out for yourself. So what is will begin this new episode? Judging from the fact that you haven't attacked me yet, I must say that your being here has nothing to do with Itachi. Itachi wasn't stupid, and the both of them knew with Naruto Harishin and his ability to dispel any genjutsu with the Kyuubi's chakra, Itachi stood no chance against him. As good as Itachi was, he just didn't have the same advantage over Naruto anymore. If he were with Kisame, then it might have been different, with Kisame a large amount of chakra. But if it was just him alone, it would be hard. You are correct, Itachi said. I was just willing to talk with you. So thought, Naruto said. I have a question, said Itachi. What are you intending to do with my brother? Capture him, Naruto said as he looked Itachi directly in the eyes, and bring him back to Konoha. In all likelihood, he will be executed for betraying his village and joining up with that S-class criminal. But despite that, Naruto said, I still feel some form of friendship, no, rivalry with Sasuke. I doubt it will do much good, but I hope that he can probably get life in prison, other than execution, and probably some hopes of parole. One side of Naruto wants to kill Sasuke, to kill him for the crimes that he had committed, but that small part of him, where Sasuke acknowledged him when he was younger, didn't want to kill him. It was that part that did not make him kill him when he confronted him with Orochimaru all those months ago. I see, said Itachi. Tell me, what is Sasuke to you? Well, I used to think of him as my brother. He was the first person to acknowledge me in some way when we were kids, even though it wasn't really good. Later on we got some sort of friendships and became rival. But honestly, I don't know what he is to me anymore. He betrayed the village and my friendship. He broke my trust when he tried to kill me, so he could gain the same eyes as you. He left and went to Orochimaru all for the sake of power. But in some ways, Naruto said that smirk, I blame you for everything that he became. Had you never used those damn eyes on him, Sasuke wouldn't have likely turned out to what he is now. Do you think you can save him? Itachi asked. As Naruto didn't know why, the way Itachi spoke that, it was like that was going to decide how this meeting is going to go. As Naruto thought to himself, yeah, I think he said. Meanwhile, at Konoha. So, Tsunade said as she set her safe down. The Akatsuki leader is hidden somewhere in the hidden rain, huh? Jiraiya nodded. But that country has one of the toughest border patrol around, she said. They check everything, background, purpose of visiting, length you're staying, criminal records. You can't even get into the country without having your entire personal profile on you. Even when they hosted student exams, they were so isolated, it caused all sorts of problems. It doesn't sound like the kind of village that the leader of Akatsuki can move around freely, she said. Maybe, said Jiraiya. But seeing that the place has so many restrictions, it's a perfect place to hide any shameful truth. Shameful? Said Tsunade. It seems that the country has been engulfed in a civil war for quite some time now, and it has been split in two. There is also rumors that the leader of the Akatsuki is in charge of one of the factions. Tsunade frowned. That country is surrounded by the sand, Hainokune, and Saki, she said, and it's always been used as a battleground for the wars between these three countries. And because of that, the country has never been stabilized, and that only allowed the refugees to grow. Yes, exactly, and because of that, I'm going to infiltrate the country and get the verified information. What? Said Tsunade. No, it's too dangerous for someone of your caliber to go there by yourself. Don't forget I'm one of Konoha's Sanins. You of all people should know what that means. Tsunade looked away with a sad look on her face. I'm sorry, she whispered. It's because of me you're always getting put in these situations. But Jiraiya merely laughed. What's this? Feeling guilty all of a sudden, he said. Tsunade smiled. You're the one who were always originally supposed to be Hokage. The third always wanted you to succeed him. Nah, there's no way I can become Hokage. I do better on my own, he said, as he poured some sake and gulped it all in one shot, placing the glass down on the table. My new rule is to set example for the new generation, and do my best to help them come up. As he thought of his newest apprentice, the boy, who has surpassed all of his expectations. For that, I'll gladly give my life, he said. That's one of the few things us old farts can do. Meanwhile, if it's possible to save him, I'll give it a try, Naruto said. But if Sasuke is too far long gone in the darkness, then the only possible way is to kill him, Naruto said. As both Itachi and Naruto stared at each other, after several seconds that felt like minutes, Itachi gave Naruto a sad smile. I see. Then perhaps you can do what I failed to do. What? Said Naruto. Allow me to tell you something, some truths. that you will need to learn if you're ever gonna bring peace. As he raised his hand, Tsukuyomi, he said. Back with Tsunade. Tsunade just finished puking out the alcohol that she had drank, as she and Jiraiya was on a park bench. Akatsuki. For someone to be able to control that group of people, he must be extremely strong. And you're just gonna walk in that place. Well, Jiraiya said that sigh. He wasn't really good at these things. I guess I'll be on my way. You know, I always thought I have nothing left. After Dad and Nowaki died. Her words caused Jiraiya to pause. They had been everything to me, the last members of my family, and someone I hope who would start a family with me. After they died, I always assumed that I was alone. Tsunade, Jiraiya said, but he was interrupted by her once more. I ran away from all my problems. I gamble and drink, away all my entire fortune. Well, I was the only one that could use it, she said, as she placed a hand on her stomach, and I am long since past the ability to reproduce. She looked at Jiraiya. Have you ever think that you were alone, only to ignore the last other member of your family for the last 12 years of your life? Are you talking about Naruto, he asked. He knew that Tsunade's mother was a Uzumaki, so she and Naruto were technically related. But they couldn't be anything more than distant cousins at most. Could they? When I run that blood check to see if he had the bloodline, I run another check to see if he had any distant relative in our database. I found that he was the son of Minato and Kushina. But then She stopped. Tsunade, Jiraiya said. She looked like she was about to burst. Tears of guilt and shame were welling up in her eyes. I found out that I'm not the last of my line, that I had a hidden family member in Konoha all this time. I found out that Naruto was a grandson of the person I cherished the most in the entire world. Wait, you can't mean... Yes. Naruto is the grandson of Senju Nowaki, my younger brother, she said. Back with Naruto, you plan on dying, aren't you? He said as he looked at Itachi in front of him. You're gonna sacrifice yourself to Sasuke. Yes, said Itachi. As he didn't really care that he was going to be killed the way he talked. Well, given from what Naruto saw, he really didn't care. Are you sure letting Sasuke kill you is the best option? I know you love him, Itachi, but if what you show me is true, then there is a good reason for your brother to hate and despise Konoha, especially if he ever learned of this. I know, said Itachi with a sigh. I realize the risk I'm taking, but I can't kill my brother Naruto. I had chosen him over my village the last time, when I was forced to act against my clan, and I can't do so again. Besides that, I only have a year left to live, or two anyways. What do you mean, Naruto asked? I have an illness that has been slowly killing me over the years, Itachi said. It has been getting rather worse lately, and I don't have much time left in this world. The only thing I can do now is that make sure Sasuke gets his revenge by taking my life. And what if this decision of yours, get him hate in Konoha? I get what you're trying to do. You want to wipe away the shame of your clan by burying it in the past. You let Sasuke kill you, he get the reputation of the hero who killed the slayer of the Uchiha clan. But it doesn't seem like you realize Sasuke is a traitor in Konoha now. He betrayed the village for the sake of power. So think, do you really think by letting yourself get killed that the Uchiha clan will be redeemed? Itachi simply looked at Naruto with that odd, small smile. Nothing is certain, he said. I realize that, and I know the chances of Sasuke being welcomed back to Konoha are very slim. But I have to do this, if for no other reason. For the fact that Sasuke gets his revenge. Because the reason for him being this way is because of me. For the sins I've committed against him, I have to let him be the one to kill me. But if what you say come to pass and Sasuke end up hating Konoha, can I count on you to do what I could not? I hope you can, he said. Now, I must take my leave. This is the last time we will ever see each other, Naruto-kun, he said. As Itachi burst into tears. I leave the rest up to you, he said. And with that, he was gone. As Naruto just stood there. Back at Konoha, it would have been heaven if Tsunade would have been lying on top of him. But now, seeing her in this state, She had literally tackled him and started to cry. She has been crying for a long while now and nothing he said was helping her or getting her to stop, as it made him just feel sad, despite being in a number of brothels and all over the world with other women. He was always had his mind focused on the blonde Hokage. Eventually her crying started to slow down, until sniffers were the only thing left before she pushed herself up off of him. "I'm sorry," she said. "Are you alright now, Snazzy?" he asked, as she nodded as he led her back to the seat that they were sitting on before she tackled him. "Somehow, I feel like I should have known," she said, as she wiped away the tears with her sleeve. Minato had never acted like Naruto, but his dreams had been the same and his talent as a shinobi. "It does make a lot of sense," Jiraiya said, as he nodded. "I have always wondered, did Minato come from a shinobi family that simply died out? Part of the reason most civilian children never make it past shonins is because they lack the genetics for it. Sure, one could say because ninja clans taught their children at a young age, and that was part of the truth. But the truth was, shinobis from ninja clans, with more ninjas in their family than civilians, had a large amount of chakras. That is why even at a genin, Sasuke was able to produce the fire style jutsu at that large rate. There is also Minato ability with space-time ninjutsu. Only the second Hokage was as powerful in that field as well. But that doesn't explain why Naruto has a Kekkei Genkai, said Snazzy. "As far as I know, Minato didn't have one." "As far as you know," said Jiraiya, "Minato was able to produce lightning and wind on a rather destructive level, but it had the same effect of harming his allies as his enemy on the battlefield. That is why he didn't use it that often. Think about it. The second Hokage was able to pull moisture from the air to use in his water affinity, but yet still, the first Hokage was able to combine water and earth, and he could use Mokiton, and none of your other clan members could do that." "Well, you're certainly right about that," she said. "It seems like it's the ability to manipulate your chakra to a level, with the first Hokage combining water and earth to make the wood, with the second Hokage literally pulling water from the moisture in the air, you able to convert your chakra to such a point to give your monster strength. Despite wind and lightning, rather opposite conversion, Minato was able to combine those two elements. But as you know, it's too destructive for him to use on the battlefield that much, so he rarely used it. And now we have Naruto," she said, "who can manipulate wind, water and lightning to create Irashi Jutsu." "Well, it's like he's manipulating the very weather itself," Jiraiya said. "But he does call it that." As he finished saying that, a serious look came on his face. "I think you should tell him. Naruto should know that he still has a family." "But what if he hate me for it?" she said. Jiraiya simply chuckled. "The most he will say is that he has a better reason to call you Bachan." As Snazzy smiled, "Yeah, that is exactly what he will say." As she could now hear it. "Do you really think that kid would hate you? You have been close to him ever since you returned back to the village. You were like a family to him already. And the kid is more mature now. He's not one to get angry over stupid things like that. And besides, he will never, no matter what, leave you out in the cold. Because you can see the kid has gotten really mature. Even in strength, I have to go full on sage to even attempt to bring him down. You know, as more and more time pass on, I really start to see Naruto as something as a grandson. I never had children myself, but Minato was like a son to me. The son I always wanted, smart, powerful, strong, and a lady killer." Snazzy gave Jiraiya a grin. "I bet the only reason you like Naruto so much is because he surpassed his old man. Ability to snag beautiful woman," she said. Isn't that the truth?" he said, as he chuckled to himself. "He's engaged to the Mizukage, the Nibijin Juliki, Yujito." And Jiraiya stopped. Snazzy frowned. "You know who his other wives are, don't you?" "Well, I know one of them. He won't tell me the fourth one. Even how much I try to weasel it out of him, he just won't tell me." And he was actually impressed that Naruto and Koyoki keep their secret in this cut world of a shinobi, where people always find out secrets like that. "So why did he tell you and not me?" asked Snazzy. "Oh, it has nothing to do with him telling me. I was just there when they started a date, that's all." As Snazzy continued to glare at him. "Glaring at me won't do anything. I promise Naruto I won't tell anyone, and that includes you. Besides, we're still in a very public location. Even if I were inclined to tell you, I wouldn't do it here. I suppose I can see your point, she says. She dropped the glare. As a smile came on her face, he's so protective of them, even me, who was an entire village guardian. He's so guardian and cared for her. She was told about the rings that Naruto gave them, with the Harishing seal on them so he could call them whenever, and they could call him whenever they need him. She expected it was the reason why he disappeared several times a week, when he was not given a mission. Jiraiya looked up as he saw the sun start to set as he picked up his summoning scroll. Well, I guess I better get going, he said. Do you really have to do this alone, she asked, her voice with a hint of worry. Couldn't you at least wait for Naruto to return from his mission? I am sure between the two of you could. I have to do this alone, he interrupted her. I have my own personal reason for doing this, and they have to be done. As Snazzy looked down, she knew why he wanted to go there by himself. The Hidden Rain was the first place he met his first 3 apprentices, and they were told that they died in the Second Great Shinobi War after they left. The country was a place of great personal grief for him. Don't die, she said. Huh? Concerned about me, he said that joke. Don't I feel love, he said, as he smiled to her. She tried to scowl at him, but it failed. Idiot, she said. Alright, why don't we make a bet? Seeing that you always suck at betting. You just bet with everything you have that I will die. Snazzy looked at him with a bit of shock on her face. But don't worry, I can't, because with your luck, you will lose, of course. And you see, when you lose, you and me go out on a date, and I get to feel those luscious melons of yours. Snazzy's eyebrow twitched as he was moving his hands, like he was just imagining the grab of her breast in his hands. But despite the situation, the man was still smiling, and she couldn't help but smile as well. But she just prayed that he come back okay. Back with the group, it was near the 1 hour mark when Naruto stiffened as he saw one of his clones got killed by Sasuke. A Shidori through the stomach. I found Sasuke, he said, as he spun on his heels. Follow me. Naruto confronted Hinata, making him stop. Hold on, she said. There is someone else up ahead. Hola, said Toby, as Naruto's eyes widened for a split second before turning back to normal. It's him. But why is he out here? Oh my! Hello there. And there and there. I never thought I would actually meet up with Konoha Shinobis out here. And there is 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 against 1? No, that's just unfair. Oh, don't worry about that, Naruto said. I'm not the kind of guy who play unfairly. This battle would be between you and me. Naruto, Kakashi started to say, but he was cut off by Naruto. This guy may be acting like a fool, don't make that fool you, Kakashi. All of the Akatsuki members are X-class criminals, and I'm gonna need some room to fight at full strength. Before Kakashi or anyone else could protest, Naruto tells Kakashi a set of scrolls. When you get to Sasuke, use those scrolls to seal him and Itachi. I designed those scrolls for specifically prisoners, transportation. As Kakashi saw the look in Naruto's eyes. Got it, he said. Hold on a minute, said Kiba. Do you expect us to just run off while you fight? I expect you to do the mission that we were assigned, Naruto said. Our mission is not to fight the Akatsuki right now, but to apprehend Sasuke and bring him back to Konoha. And if he is here, the only reason why he's standing in front of us is because he wants to delay us. Yes, but Kiba, Naruto said, cutting him off in a stern tone. As everyone flinched at Naruto's harsh tone. This is not up for debate. As Kiba saw the stern look on Naruto's face. Look, I am trusting you to do this mission in return. I want you to trust me. I know what I'm doing. As Kiba nodded, fine, he said. But I expect you to catch up when you're done. Don't worry, I'll be there shortly, Naruto said. Let's go, said Kakashi as he started to jump away with the others. Before they could get far, Toby popped out of the ground. Ninja art, Wakinamole Jutsu, he said. You guys cannot escape me when I'm using my... He was cut off as Naruto flashed in front of him in a yellow flash. As Naruto drive a Rasengan forward, but he went right through Toby. Keep going, Naruto said. Don't stop for anything. I'll make sure he doesn't get you. Toby tried to cut them off, but Naruto was having none of that as he flashed in front of Toby every single time. You're really fast, Toby said. Super fast. I don't think I've met someone as fast as you are. Cut the act, Naruto said, his voice becoming rather cold. You're not fooling me with that act of stupidity, Toby. Or should I say Uchiha Madara. The moment that name left Naruto's mouth, Toby's entire demeanor changed. As an arrogant, mixed with powerful aroma and Just force came over him. So, he said, his voice no longer sounding childish. You know who I am? I'm curious. How do you know that? He asks. Naruto smirked as two 3-pronged kunai slit right in his hands as he went into his stance. Do you really think I'm going to tell you that? He asks. Moments later, a toad hopped right into the hidden rain. Before the toad could even say anything, a hand came out of the toad's mouth as a complete body emerged. As Jiraiya successfully infiltrated the hidden rain. Meanwhile, on top of the largest skyscraper, Pain, eyes snapped open. Pain, said Konan. Someone had managed to infiltrate the hidden rain, judging by their chakra and the fact that I didn't feel them until they entered. I judge they're very skilled. As Konan didn't think that it was Naruto, he wouldn't do something like that. And he already infiltrated the place before. And she could also found out by the Hiroshin seal. No, he wouldn't do that, but she was still worried. Meanwhile, I see, said Madara. Unlike Naruto, he just stood there, like he didn't really see Naruto as a threat. Well, Naruto had to change that, as he flicked his wrist with great force, sending the 3-pronged kunai right towards Madara. A Rasengan quickly came in his hand as he drove it straight forward, but it went right through Madara like he wasn't even there, like a ghost. Naruto dodged the change that Madara summoned. He threw his kunai and flashed away several feet, before tossing one near Madara and one into the trees. As he flashed near Madara, using Wind Blade in an effort to cut the man's head right off. Once again, his jutsu went right through Madara and he was forced to flash away to the trees as the man attacked him in return. It has to be some kind of a space-time jutsu, Naruto thought to himself as he analyzed his opponent. He could be sending his body to a separate, yet connected dimension, therefore making attacks phase right through him. The question was whether he was phasing his entire body, or just part of his body, and what was the limitation for this jutsu. Perhaps it was time to put Madara's ability to the test. Naruto jumped high in the air using chakra to propel himself, as he then launched 2 kunai. Those kunai soon multiplied to dozens as they hit the forest floor, hundreds of 3-pronged kunai everywhere. No matter where Madara go, he should not be able to get to the edge of the kunai field in time, as Madara was stuck right in the center, with the yellow flashes going all around him. He couldn't even tell which one of them was the after image and which one was the real Naruto. He was just moving so fast. Not even the Sharingan was at any help here, as he couldn't make out which one was the real one. But his phasing ability wasn't all that he had, as he disappeared in a swirling vortex, reappearing several meters away. As Naruto was quick to flash right towards him, not letting up to give him any advantage. But Madara smirked under his mask, as Naruto received a kick right to the face as he flipped away. Your Sharingan can see my Hiroshin chakra signature, he said. Correct, said Madara. I might have not been able to tell which one was the real you when you were flashing around me previously, but dealing with a single Hiroshin attack is easy, if you just know how to do it. Naruto gritted his teeth, not liking the smug toned man voice. Well then, I guess I'll just have to step up my game. We both know there's no stepping up, said Madara. You've been fighting me as hard as you can since the beginning. You and I both know that anything less than your best effort will end in your defeat. As Naruto frowned away, Madara called his bluff, but he said nothing. He just thrust 2 more kunais as he vanished. And half an hour later, Naruto dodged another attack from Madara. The both of them have been fighting for half an hour now, and Naruto has received some cuts, but they have already been healed by the Kyuubi. The farthest extent that Madara had was several cuts over his Akatsuki cloak, but nothing more. Wind style, divine wind from the mountain, Naruto said, as he fired off a blast of vortex wind from his palms that went towards Madara in high speeds. They would have struck if Madara did not go underground and appear a distance away. You'll have to do better than that, young Namikaze, Madara taunted. Don't act so superior, Madara. I may have not hit you, but you have not done damage to me either, Naruto said. True. I suppose we're in a stalemate then, said Madara. Not for long, Naruto says, he gathered lightning chakra into his left hand and water chakra into his other hand. Storm release. Storm Dragon Bullet! As he thrust out his hand and launched a condensed ball of water that had lightning crackling inside of it. The ball started to morph as it moved, the lightning going to the front as it took the shape of a dragon head. as it made it sound like it was roaring as it crashed right into Madara. Or at least it seemed to crash into him. Oh my, what a powerful attack, Madara said. Truly, you're a powerful shinobi. Don't patronize me, Madara, Naruto said with narrow eyes. Oh, but it's so fun. That's quite a scary look, Naruto. You really should focus and be careful who you glare at. As Naruto clenched his fist, this man was mocking him as they battled. It was like Madara didn't even see him as a threat. Using the Hirashi, Naruto appeared 2 feet away from Madara, 2 fingers pointed outwards. Lightning, GN, he said, as a pale white lightning burst through Madara's body. As Naruto flashed away, lightning release. Lightning death, as another beam pierced through Madara's head. As Naruto flashed away again. Wind release, serial waves, as he released a numerous amount of unended wind blades going through Madara's body as the other attacks hit. But none of them even touched Madara as they all went through him. My, what a powerful ninjutsu you have. Had I been anyone else, I dare say those attacks might have hurt. Damn it, Naruto thought as he flashed away. Nothing I do even seemed capable of hitting him. What the hell kind of jutsu is he using to avoid my attacks? It was like the man was simply a ghost. Even skill he is in time-space jutsu, there was nothing he could think about that could work this way. It seemed to have no limit. Well, seeing as how you're done, I believe it's my turn now, isn't it, Naruto? Madara appeared right in front of him and thrust a kuna as Naruto tilted his head to make it pass right by him. As he tried to grab Madara's hand and pull him into a cake, but his hand simply phased right through Madara, as Madara kicked him right in the stomach. As Naruto landed on the branch, he is pretty fast without even manipulating space and time. I need to be ready. As Madara appeared right in front of him again. This speed was nothing that Naruto could not handle. It was at first he was just not expecting it. As Naruto flashed behind Madara and launched a wind blade right through his body. It phased through as usual, but Naruto did not let that bother him. As he flashed again and sent another lightning beam at Madara, a much larger one. When it struck the place Madara was standing, the entire place disintegrated. It flew through the tree, literally vaporizing the chunk. As the top of the tree then fell down with the chunk gone. As it hit the ground, a boom. Oh my, no, that was scary. Nothing I do seemed to affect him, Naruto thought. Without understanding this kind of jutsu of his. I don't know his weakness, damn it. It was frustrating. No one has ever pushed him to this limit before. To make him can't analyze a simple jutsu. He has always been able to break down anything he came across. And the man was not even taking him seriously. As Naruto came up with another plan. As the battle go on, Naruto started to release more and more of his chakra into the air. Something that Madara noticed. What's this? As he watched Naruto fill the eroded air with his chakra. What is he up to? Storm clouds start to form up ahead. As rain started to pour down, as lightning started to cackle through the sky. As Naruto's eyes started to take on a fearsome blue glow. Lightning started to crackle inside of them. As he took on a glow of chakra. You should have taken me more seriously, Madara, Naruto said, his voice sounding strange. It seems that the amount of chakra he had gathered gave him a change of voice, along with the amount of lightning crackling all around, making him sound more deadly. Now, you're gonna regret it. Naruto then jumped in the air and stayed there. What? Said Madara in shock. As Naruto was flying, just floating in the air, his hands raised over his head like he was praying out to God. There was a pulse of chakra so thick and powerful, it was visible without the Sharingan. As it spread out across the area, covering the entire place for at least 2 kilometers. Large pebbles and boulders started to crash into the crater. They were great hailstones coming from the sky. Dozens of trees were hit with these stones as they tore through them. The wind started to pick up as it grew into a fearsome hurricane storm. Trees were whipped everywhere as they started to be ripped apart. Then 4 giant tornadoes came crashing down into the clearing. They tore out the land as a stone started merging the tornadoes, destroying everything even more dangerously. The attack seemed to be an attack by nature. It was just so powerful and furious. Then the lightning came down and started to consume and destroy everything in its path. With a scream that seemed to shake the very heavens itself, Naruto let out the rest of the chakra that he was gathering. The entire world became blinded in a bright flash of light. Meanwhile, Pain was looking down at his village. Conan, when I stop the downpour, I want you to use your ability to stop the intruder. As Conan nodded, leave it to me, she said. As Pain raised his hand in the air, as he started to release his chakra up, it's done. Right, she said. Meanwhile, the team that Snyder put together saw the attack. What the hell was that? It looked like a Armageddon. I don't know, said Hinata. I can't use my Byakugan on that. There was so much chakra, I would go blind if I did. My bugs told me that that is all of Naruto chakra. It's Naruto creating that attack, said Shino. As it wasn't even deserved to be called an attack, but Shino couldn't come up with another name. That was just... You're telling me Naruto did all of that? Shouted Kiba. That is exactly what I'm saying, Kiba-san, said Shino. As he was also shocked, but you couldn't really tell. As no more warriors said as they looked at the dome, which had become a pale white that no one could see through. A few more seconds later, the dome vanished. As everyone's eyes were wide. There's nothing there anymore, Sakura said. Everything that was there, it's gone. Hinata, can you see anything? Kakashi asked. Hinata tried to activate her Byakugan, but she gasped in pain and turned them off a second later. There is still too much chakra saturating the area. As she blinked several times. Kakashi sighed. Let's not stay here, he said. Whatever Naruto did, he must have a good reason. We have to respect his wishes and go and capture Sasuke. Let's go, he said. Meanwhile, Naruto went back down to the ground. As soon as he touched the ground, he collapsed on his knees. As his entire body felt like he was on fire. Damn it, he cursed. I didn't think that it would hurt that much. As he coughed up blood, he grimaced when he noticed the blood was black. Well, damn, he said. Kyube, damage assessment, Naruto asked. As there was a large sigh in Naruto's mind. You have fried most of your nervous system. Your veins have been charred beyond beliefs. And your muscles look like they were placed in a deep fryer. A chuckle escaped Grandma's throat. You should be good in a few hours. I have to admit that was a rather impressive attack. Almost reminds me of my own force of nature abilities. Yay, I feel so happy I'm being compared to a furball with a chip on his shoulder, Naruto said in a sarcastic tone. He chuckled when he heard a grumble of whelp in his mind. As he felt the Kyuubi's chakra start to course through his body. As he could feel his organs being melded back together. It wouldn't be long before he can move again. As Naruto's instinct went off as he rolled out of the way as a rod nearly stabbed him, but he didn't get away free as he got stabbed through the shoulder anyway. Naruto grunted and bit his tongue too hard to taste blood as he looked up at Uchiha Madara. That attack was quite deadly, said Madara, his voice deadly serious. And with good reason, his left arm was gone entirely. His mask was cracked in half. Half of it had fallen off, revealing the left side of his aged-lined face. He was also missing his right leg below his knee, and his other hand only had 3 remaining fingers. Had I been any slower, I would have died. How are you still alive, Naruto said. There is no way you should have survived that. Oh, contraire, I am quite resourceful. My dear Fox, surviving that attack was hard, but not impossible for a foe like me. As Naruto grabbed onto the rod and channeled lightning chakra, as Madara had to jump away. Despite only standing on one leg, the man was still nimble. Naruto ripped out the rod and threw it away. It seems you're at a stalemate, said Madara. Maybe, Naruto said, as he then stopped. He went silent for a few seconds. It seems that we will have to reschedule this for another day. You know, places to go, people to see, things to do. With that, Naruto disappeared in a yellow flash. As he was gone, Madara collapsed down as he let loose a scream of pain from his lost limbs. Report, Naruto said as he appeared next to Kakashi in a bright flash of yellow. He didn't let anyone see how much painful it was to even speak. We have Sasuke, Kakashi said, holding up the prisoner transportation scroll, as well as the corpse of Itachi. So Sasuke won, huh? As Naruto already knew this, seeing that Itachi didn't go there to kill his brother. But he had to keep up appearances for now. Yes, when we got there, Itachi was dead, and Sasuke was unconscious, Kakashi said with a nod. It looked like they had been through a hell of a battle. Kakashi looked Naruto up and down. Well, I don't think they was as beat up as you, he said. Naruto would have chuckled, but he hurt too much. Yeah, well, that Tobi character was harder than I thought. I'm sure. That must be why you destroyed 2 kilometers of forest, Kakashi said, with an eye smile. It was, Naruto said. It looks like our mission is complete. It's time we go to Konoha. Meanwhile, as Jiraiya was walking, the place was empty. As he turned into a new road, he saw hundreds of papers flying at him. Jiraiya quickly flipped through hand sign, fire style, indent. Konoha was forced to move back as a fire bullet reached her and exploded. The fire cleared away a second later to show that she was completely unharmed, and a paper wall had gotten the full brunt of the attack. I came here looking for pain, but instead I end up finding you. As Jiraiya smirked at Konan, not only have your techniques improved, but you turned into one hell of a woman, Konan. Konan said nothing as she looked at the man who had once been her sensei and was the current sensei of her lover. She had been first surprised when she saw that your intruder was none other than Jiraiya. Konan knew right now they were now in a bad way. The whole reason she and Naruto decided not to inform Jiraiya, because they knew that he would become looking for Nagato if he knew that he was alive. But Nagato was no longer the man that he once was. He was now pain. His goals have shifted a long time ago, from peace to pure revenge now. Let me guess, said Jiraiya, snapping her from her thoughts. You're this angel that everyone seemed to be talking about. When Konan said nothing, Jiraiya grunted. So, who's pain? That's none of your business, Sensei, she said as she played her part and started to float in the air. As paper started to form out of her back, creating 2 large angel wings. So, that is supposed to make you an angel? Doesn't look like much. Does that shape bring you any benefits? As Jiraiya saw that she started to fire paper shurikens down at him, as he released a flame jutsu out of his mouth. As the papers and the flames collided, he then felt something on his shoulder. Thinking that it was a paper bomb, he thrust it off, but he saw it was a message. What the hell do you think you're doing, Sensei? Jiraiya blinked in surprise. She had the opening to impale him right there, but the shurikens passed him. Being a ninja of his class, he could tell when someone was trying to hurt him or not. And he could tell she was trying very hard to make it look like she was going to kill him, but she wasn't trying. It was like she was putting on a show for someone else's benefit. What the hell was going on here? Deciding to play along, he blew out some fireballs that sailed towards her. The same time, he threw back the piece of paper, as he had used his chakra to write a message on it. Konan caught the message on one of her wings and read it. I'm looking for information on Akatsuki. I didn't expect to see you here. You've grown quite beautiful, my dear, it read. She didn't know whether to scowl or smirk. It seems Naruto was right, even in battle, he was still a pervert. She responded to that by tossing more paper shurikens, aiming towards his sensitive part, making him go pale. She almost let her impassive face fall, but she didn't let it do that though, as she passed him another message. You shouldn't have come here, Sensei. This village is much more dangerous now. I suggest you leave while you can. Jiraiya frowned as he sent some oil towards her that coated her. As he went through hand signs, his hair stretched out and grabbed her. A small strand of his hair passed his another note. I can't leave. I have to find out information on the Akatsuki, and I'm guessing you know about it. Who's your leader, and what happened to Nagato and Yaiko? She growled in frustration. It was going to make it incredibly hard for her to get him out alive. She didn't know what to do. Neither she or Naruto was thinking that he would be coming here looking for information. They knew it was a possibility, but they were thinking that he wouldn't do anything for a couple of years. She was just going to use the jutsu that Naruto had taught her, one of her more powerful jutsu. Something of an ace in the hole. As Naruto realized that if people find out the weakness of her paper, they will use it against her. So he taught her 5 jutsu from each element. She was about to use a wing jutsu when a voice made her freeze. It's been a long time, Jiraiya Sensei. As Konan's eyes went wide, as Pain appeared crouched down on a metal pipe several feet away. Damn it, she cursed. With him here now, things were going to go downhill. Jiraiya looked at Nagato. That was the only person he could be. He had long orange hair with a ponytail. As it was parting off to the left, he looked like Naruto's friend Ino's hair. He had several piercings all over him. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes. Your appearance has changed, but not those eyes. They're still the same as back then. He remembered the first time he saw those eyes when Yaiko was attacked and Nagato had killed the man, and he saw the legendary dojutsu. So you're the one they called Pain, Nagato. It seems you didn't grow up the way I expected. What happened to you? You don't need to know that, Pain said. You're just an outsider after all. It seems you have changed, Nagato. He slammed his hands together. Summoning jutsu. A large seal array spread out behind Pain on the pipe wall, as a large, strange, crab-like creature came out and shot out a foamy substance from its mouth. It overtook Konoha as it washed off the oil, making her get her retreat. Jiraiya flipped away as he landed on the wall. Foam, huh? Washing away my oil with foam, as Konoha made her distance until she can come up with a plan to get Jiraiya out of here. The giant crab then disappeared in a poof of smoke. The crab then burst back out of the foam. Jiraiya slammed his hands together, his hair extended as it turned to a rather strong substance, as it ripped through the crab's shell, causing it to poof away. As Konoha watched overhead, the only sign that she was worrying, the way her teeth bit her lower lip. As Jiraiya flexed his hair to wrap around Nagato. I have questions I want to ask you, Nagato. What happened to Yaiko? He died a long time ago. What? He died? Jiraiya said. What happened to you, Nagato? Your old self would have never been so callous. The pain of death, too much of it was here. That pain caused me to grow. It forced me to mature really quickly. What the hell are you talking about? Said Jiraiya. Through pain, even a foolish child will grow up. Thoughts, actions, everything will change as well. Through pain. Are you saying that casting aside feelings for your friend make you a man? Jiraiya asks. Sensei, I have already transcended humanity. What? Said Jiraiya. That's right. Because I am no longer a man. I am a god. But guys, be in this episode right here. If you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. But I'm out for now. Stay tuned for the rest of the what ifs coming your way. Peace.